Hello there, and welcome to another podcast hosted by none other than myself, Cruel Swords. This is the podcast where we discuss different tools that are available to independent authors in order to get their work read, in order to promote and market their work, and if they so wish, to try and carve a career or part-time living out of their craft and their written word. Today we're going to talk about Patreon. Patreon is a website and I guess a community for creative types, whether they're into graphic novels, whether they're into books, music, graffiti, whatever it is. As long as it's creative, this may well be a site for you. Now, I think most people probably have heard of Kickstarter or crowdfunding. If you haven't, check them out. Whereby if you have a project or something that you're trying to get off the ground, you ask the people out there in the wider world to support it and help you get it underway. There's various different goals and there's various different amounts that you can set for yourself. If you reach your goal, you get all your money. Most of the time, if you don't reach your goal, you don't get anything. Patreon is kind of there for people who need a ongoing financial support. The donations can be anything from $1 to whatever you like, $100. And there's different rewards, I suppose, you get for giving a certain amount of money. So it's a lot like Kickstarter or other crowdfunding programs in that respect. But basically, you can either give a monthly donation, or else when anyone kind of finishes a project that they've set out to do, then the money goes from your account into their own, and that's you supporting them. So it's a good idea. I basically came across it when I was looking at some YouTube videos, and I saw that some people had this Patreon account, and I didn't quite know what it was. Clicked into it and I saw that it was for helping creative types and helping them, to make a living out of their craft. So in terms of what I've done, I've been on about a month. Filled out my profile, which includes, or they encourage you to also include a video. So I created a video to explain what I did, what I do, and what their support would mean to me and what it would be able to let me do in the future. I also then, filled out the written profile and added some links to different material that I've created. And my YouTube account with the videos that I create there are linked with my Patreon account, so there's constantly something going out in order to get people interested in supporting me. So where are we at with it now? Well, heaven to Betsy, I haven't got any porters yet. I've put the links to it on my website, which I guess you're on maybe. I put it in the interviews, some of the interviews that allowed me to, that I've done. It's also in some versions of the book that I've given away for free in order to get reviews and to kind of get more support or develop an audience for my work. But overall, it hasn't really gone anywhere, and it's also on my YouTube account. To click to it. Some of my videos include a link. But overall, it just hasn't taken off, and there's obviously reasons for that. Maybe people don't like what I'm doing, which is totally fair enough. People have seen it, but just think, it's not really worth it. Or just lots of people don't know it's there. Patreon isn't like the most known website in the world, so you can't expect people to know it. So there's a part of your job is to educate people about what it is, but as I said, so far the results have been pretty underwhelming. Now there is, you can get in touch with other authors and creative types who are on the site, but they're kind of there for the same thing. They're looking for donations too. So, other than giving them donations, the other thing maybe you can do is critique their work. But, there obviously is creators who are helping support other creators, but if the only people doing it are other creators supporting creators, then the sums of money that are going to be made they're not going to be enough, and it's basically just people passing their money to each other and getting the same return almost. So it does need, you do need to go outside of Patreon in order to find patrons, basically. And while I have been on it for a month, and I have been uploading my YouTube videos and trying to kind of create interest in my work, it really hasn't gone anywhere so far. It's disappointing because I thought, it's a good idea. It is a good idea, but the execution of it on my part, I guess, so far has been lackluster. My basic intention was that people would help me to, survive and make a living while preparing books for launch, while putting, material out there online for free in order to develop an audience. But it just hasn't happened yet. I guess I have to rethink it, retool it. If you're someone who's used a Patreon account and either it's worked or hasn't worked for you, please leave a comment in the section below. If these podcasts have been useful to you and they've helped you kind of widen your knowledge around independent publishing and the tools that are out there, maybe check the other podcasts out. And if overall they've been helpful to you and you've learned something from them, then please consider making a donation either through PayPal, Gumroad, or even Patreon. All donations would be much appreciated. Finally, if you are working on getting an audiobook or other audio project up and going and you're looking for some voice talent, then maybe we can work together. Maybe it could work. Get in touch. We'll see what we can do. So I think that's about it for today. This has been my podcast on Patreon. Any comments, leave them below. Get in touch with me if there's any sort of themes or topics you would like discussed in the future. And I guess have yourselves a good day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I've been Carul. I still am Carul. Goodbye.